Good evening and happy holidays. This is Maestro Cretella with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today we have a 1 versus 1 on Calderis Refinery between, let's see over here. We have Excalibur, the famous orc chain axe of legend. We also have Blessed Spartan as a Space Marine veteran with a very special helmet. A lot of chatter going on. But anyway, these players, Tex, the legend, is the Orc Warboss. Obviously, Tex is a fantastic player, one of the best players in the game. Unfortunately, I'd say, obviously, Holy Hammer is the, generally, probably the best Warboss in the game, but I don't know if he plays Elite Mod or if he even plays the game anymore. So I guess Tex can be the Warboss of Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Mod. No fighting yet. Blessed Spartan, not as well known of a player. He does hang out a bit in all the different chat things. Tactical Marines in a fight that they do not want to be in. Not going to be a winning fight for them with the Warboss and the Slugger Boys. We do have the Force Commander over here, though, chasing down both Slugger Boys and the Shooter Boys. I think when you play Space Marine, especially in Tier 1, you probably want to have your attacks work with your Force Commander. Because obviously the Force Commander's only real weakness is that he will get focused down by ranged fire. So you need those tacks to support him. We already have shotgun scouts up here, but we already have tactical Marines probably going to lose a model. Maybe? No. But Slugger Boys did lose a few models. That was quite a push by Tex. Just not even going for that middle victory point. Like, a lot of times in the start of a game, people will just kind of go sequentially through capturing the nearest victory point so they can get their economy started, get their victory point counter going. Tex just kind of ran up, was really aggressive with the Warboss, and now Blessed Spartan hasn't even captured his natural victory point. He's got his power and his natural wreck, but he doesn't even have his natural victory point. Force Commander nearly goes down, but now the Warboss goes down instead. Wow, that was the Force Commander. He had 2 hit points left. And the Warboss, I guess Tex wanted it, but it just didn't happen. So he was aggressive. And it looked like it was paying off, although at this point I'd say Tex definitely took the heavier loss in the end. Since he's going to have to use 250 requisition to get his Warboss back, or just try to deal without him for a while. He does have more map control, but not by a whole lot. He does have a 100 victory point lead, though, and that is a very big victory point lead to take so early on. Nerd Plague. Let's see. Let's read some of the chat. You think Warboss would actually land a strike versus something moving that fast? Bless. Man, I don't know, yo. I didn't make the game, G. Shooter Boys. They should beat Scouts. I don't know if... Well, they'll definitely beat them in range. Maybe even in melee. More fighting going down here. Hidden Looter Boy doing a ton of damage. Nerd Play Game says Holy Hammer and Tex are one of the best, when not the best players in DW2. Boom. I love the sound of that shotgun blast. Not actually good on retreat, but I love the sound of it. We got Tex blob capping. Come on. This is Texanius, the legend. And we have a second Looter Boy squad. But please stop blob capping. Alright, that's fine. We have some interesting people in the chat. Nerd Play Games. I think I've seen him comment on my channel. We also have Penis Prince. Very nice. So he does have 2 suppression teams, overlapping arcs of fire. Do have a Space Marine blob, though. Tex might have to... Yeah, he is going to shift his Looter Boys to support. Basically just switch the angles. So what he'll probably do is he'll probably start suppressing, and then once one of them gets jumped, He gets the suppression from this one, which needs to get set up so it can actually suppress. The only problem right now is these shotgun scouts are getting outside of the arc. And soon these assault space marines will get enough energy for a second jump. These scouts should actually run up in support. Or they should start capping, but they should not idle. Alright, Blessed Spartan wins that engagement. He still has not taken a victory point yet, but he will get it now, I think. And Penis Prince says, double Luda's never seen. Well, I don't think it's that strange. Certainly, at least not from Tex. And especially not in the elite mod, now that they're very good. I would say they might actually be even better than shuriken cannons right now. Oh man, the Warboss, I just saw him. He kicked the Force Commander in the butt instead of using his hammer. And he has been upgraded to have the Gangbang Hammer. Doesn't do power melee anymore, but still good weapon. Increased damage over his normal weapon, and still has that little damage buff and speed buff. We do have Ard Boys on these sluggers, but I think they should still get out of here before they lose any more models to this Tactical Marine squad that hasn't retreated yet. And the Warboss, I think, will just charge them up. Ooh, we have grenades going down. That'll probably take out one model, or at least just knock them over. Just knock them over. So Blessed Spartan is now starting. Now took some victory points. Penis Prince says Orc Hammer ? I don't know why. Oh, I guess. Do you use the speed buff from the hammer? But it looks like Tex is going to get all 3 victory points at this point. He's going to get a 3 cap. He's got full power farm. Blessed Spartan also has a full power farm, and he has a node up over here. So that means that Blessed Spartan has the bigger power income. Both players going to tier 2. Blessed Spartan with the smaller army. Despite Tex getting 5 units and losing his Warboss, they both make it to tier 3. Tex actually made it there. Tier 2 made it there a little faster. Anyway, Shooter Boys over here. Shooter Boys will still beat. They'll definitely beat a scout squad, even though it has been upgraded with a sergeant. I mean, the bolter scouts just do terrible damage, unfortunately. Weird boy, it's weird when the big heroes get knocked back, they don't even really fall on their back. It's just like they fall on their feet a little back. And Shooter Boys realize they're not going to win, even with big shooters against this whole Space Marine blob. Oh my god, my camera is fucked now. I think he's talking about when your screen gets locked and you can't move it. It can be fixed. We do see Blessed Spartan blobbing a lot. He really should just move one of these units over here, get this requisition point instead of just blobbing them all up together. He does have this squad over here, which is not capturing the power. It should be. I guess, this is actually a reasonable reason to keep your scouts around, or even any units, just if you want to get that generator bash. Scouts are actually, with shotguns, scouts are very good at generator bashing, but now he moves back. I don't think he should have done that. He should press his advantage while he has it. Unless he's basically waiting for Tex to get his computer fixed. Assault Space Marines definitely taking a lot of damage at about 75% health right there. They can tank so much damage just because they have heavy armor and a big HP pool. Force Commander getting the Thunderhammer. Tex getting both the Trophy Rack and the War Truck. War Truck, obviously considered a very good Orc unit. Synergizes well with Slugger Boys, although Slugger Boys should get an Orc Knob. Would make them pretty crazy in melee. Trophy Rack frightens all enemy units, reducing their damage by 25%. That's actually pretty significant, especially considering Space Marines are actually a low DPS race to begin with. High durability, but low DPS. Although not so much from these Stern Guards, though. Stern Guards definitely do some pretty good damage. Damage over time, though. I don't know if that really counts as DPS. Should not be leading the charge with Scouts because they will bleed models and then just have to retreat. Of course, part of the problem with blobbing up is that he's going to get disrupted. I mean, he's going to get suppressed. And he, unfortunately, that was not a good play by Blessed Spartan, I'm sorry to say. He jumped with his Assault Space Marines and did not even disrupt the Ludoboy squad. I think he just has to retreat these units. Alright, maybe he can keep them in play a little bit longer. Use the Shotgun Blast to keep him in play. I think Force Commander has to hit Battle Cry so that he can, well, not anymore. And now, the Stern Guards had been equipped with, I think they're called Dragonfire Bolts, which are anti-cover bolts, but I don't know if they're actually worth using. And this Warboss might go down. He does go down. Why Dragonfire rounds? My guess is that Blessed Spartan just didn't know. He probably just wanted Hellfire, since both those bullets have fire in them. Hellfire, Dragonfire. So he just saw fire and picked the Dragonfire rounds. Nobody uses them. They look pretty cool because they create little explosions when you use them, but people would just prefer to use the Hellfire rounds. Really good against regular infantry, and I think even the damage over time from the Hellfire rounds, I think that ignores cover as well. And I guess those Dragonfire rounds probably not so useful just because they're so situational. It's only good for when your opponent is in cover, and it takes a little bit of time to switch. So like by the time you switch, they could just walk out of cover, or just like even just move back. I guess I wish the Dragonfire rounds were a little more useful. Right now, we do have a big-ass Dreadnought on the field for Blessed Spartan. So Blessed Spartan is managing to hold his own. Penis Prince asks if the Vengeance rounds are lower in DPS than the rocket launcher. I'm going to say probably. The Vengeance rounds seem like they're actually pretty bad AV. Shotgun Scouts come up over here. They do force melee the Ludoboys. That ultimately is the right choice. I don't know if they actually win this fight, but it's definitely better than them trying to fight the Ludo gun in range. But it looks like they're going to lose it anyway, so maybe not. Anyway, right now, Blessed Spartan doesn't really have much AV on the field to deal with the War Truck. The only thing he has for AV is the fist on this Dreadnought. But with proper micro, and Tex is definitely someone who's going to have micro on his War Truck, this fist on the Dreadnought's not going to get anywhere close. So, and then the only other thing he has is Vengeance rounds. And the other must shoot all the time. They don't just pay out. Bad versus SM since no plasma. Stern Guards, they just don't pay off. Bad versus vehicle since no rocket. So Penis Prince is talking about how he thinks Stern Guard is bad, which he is saying some of the weaknesses of the Stern Guard, but they are very good against these infantry base races that have infantry armor. They are extremely good against Shooter Boys and Slugger Boys. Pretty much any Orc unit, and then Ludo Boys too. You lose all your levels, and that is a consideration. Sometimes if you don't make it to level 2, if you don't even have a level, then I mean it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, looks like Blessed Spartan finally has 2 victory points. He put a multi-melta on his Dreadnought. You don't see that very often, but that is another AV choice, and it'll probably, I mean, right now, if it gets close enough to the War Truck, it'll probably kill it in one shot. And Tex has to know that Blessed Spartan has a multi-melta on his Dreadnought. Tex himself doesn't have a whole lot of AV. He could upgrade one of these. Yeah, you did upgrade one of the Ludo Boys to have a Beamy Def Gun. And Penis Prince still talking about how Vanguards rock and Stern Guards are kind of useless. Not really true. The Force Commander getting in right there now has a teleporter pack to disrupt these setup teams. This looks like the Space Marine blob kind of forced off some orc units. Vanguard only when ASM not leveled, and I need something against heavy infantry. Sorry. I think Vanguard, unfortunately, it's difficult to know without knowing the stats. Vanguard, I don't know if they actually get a damage buff or if they just have their damage type changed to power melee. If they do get their damage type changed, then they are going to be very useful against power armor races. But if that's all they get, they don't get a damage buff, then they might not even be worth it against infantry-based races. I think we're going to have a drop pod coming down right here to support the Space Marines. Yes, and now we have Stern Guards at full health. The only problem with that is that, I mean, Tex is reinforcing his stuff too. But the Dreadnought might kill this Warboss. I mean, kill this War Truck. Assault Marines in a lot of trouble. Oh, and we got a punch from the Dreadnought. I was saying how I wasn't going to get that, and this War Truck is probably dead. Yep. So that multi-melta on the Dreadnought, not a bad idea. Tactics with Rocket Launcher, Vanguard with Power Fist, and Tech with a Melta. Anyway, we do have, I'm guessing this is, yeah, it must be, and they shall know no fear, allowing them to tank the melee damage and even knock down some of those units. Good engagement for Space Marines and for Blessed Spartan. Tech's only down to 4 units now. And now we have a fairly late Razorback coming from Blessed Spartan, which is kind of unexpected. Usually, I don't know, I feel like usually you get the Razorback as an early tier 2 unit, very early tier 2 unit. And now this Dreadnought is in trouble. It might go down. Let's see if another shot from this. Ooh, so close. And wow, just a hit from the Gangbang Hammer. Takes out that Dreadnought. Only had 3 health left. Interesting things going on with the map control. Map control has definitely gone in favor of Blessed Spartan. He's getting this power node up here, which has 2 generators, and he also has a noded power over here, while Tech somehow has this requisition point. Anyway, maybe we're gonna have a little power bash over here. Force Commander with his Thunderhammer. Tex now has the cyborg implants for the big stomp. I wonder how long he's had that. Blessed Spartan still has this Razorback that he's still not really doing anything with. I guess he could bring it over here, do a little gen bashing. Scouts do synergize well with the Razorback, especially shotgun scouts, because you can knock back anything that tries to swarm the Razorback and also repair it. And then you just put them back in when you want them back out. This is not good. We do have knobs. Assault Marine's going to get inside the Razorback, and this Razorback took just 2 hits and was down to half health. I love the music that's playing right now. That Space Marine theme, Angels of Death. Penis Prince likes to talk a lot. This Razorback does need repairs, but the scouts are not inside, which is bad, because he might have to run. Even these Slugger Boys are going to do some damage to the Razorback, and it's about to run right into some knobs. I think this Razorback is done. He needs to micro it around, up back to his base, but he needs to like keep on microing, but I think it's just going to go down. Might take a few orcs with it, but ultimately, this is a dead Razorback. Not a great use of that Razorback, I'm afraid. And that's actually part of the reason why you want scouts inside the Razorback, because then they would just jump out, blast those guys, jump back in, and then the Razorback just runs away. And now, this was actually, it was looking like Blessed Spartan was taking the advantage, but now it's gone back to Tex with this Knob Squad and the loss of both the Dreadnought and the Razorback. Tex with a 3 cap, but somehow almost none of the resource points. 3 cap on the victory points, but almost none of the resource points. Doesn't even have his natural power because he has the Force Commander hitting his Looter Boy squad with a hammer. Knobs over here do have their huge hammers. No knob, or maybe they lost it. I don't think they have meaner and greener. We do have a Gen Bash going down right here. I don't know why we hear chainsword sounds. We hear chainsword sounds from the Slugger Boys. Is that normal? Anyway, these Slugger Boys, they get a nice power bash off, but they will have to go. Or they will take too many losses from these Stern Guard veterans, which are now level 2. And Stern Guard veterans, it resets your levels, but you also, the leveling that you get as Stern Guards are better than the leveling you get as regular attacks. Assault Marines at level 2, might not even change. We have a big stomp going off. And that Warboss goes down because of those Hellfire bolts, which are just really good on retreat. It's actually kind of changed one of Space Marines' old weaknesses, which is that they were very bad at killing enemies on retreat, and now they're still probably not as good as most other races, but the Stern Guard veterans are good at it. Space Marine Blob coming right over here. Tex has managed to at least get his victory points, his resource points back, especially these 2 powers. But now he doesn't have the victory points. Blessed Spartan has enough resources to get Terminators, which I'm guessing is what he's saving up for. We'll see how he does it, because some people, like, they just get Terminators as soon as they have the resources. What I like to do is I usually like to use the call-in to win an engagement. So while I'm already fighting, I use the call-in and I put them behind my enemy, so that they're kind of surrounded, and it's in the middle of a fight where either I'm already winning the fight, or I might not be winning the fight, and that's going to turn the tide. So I like to use that Terminator call-in as a way of winning an engagement. And I don't think this is going to be a winning... Well, yeah, this is definitely not going to be a winning engagement for Tex. Computer freezing a bit because of those Terminators. Terminators might just wipe this Looter Boy squad. Will it? Wow, close. Maybe Scouts and Assault Marines can turn around, shoot at it a little bit. Doesn't look like it, though. Anyway. Penis Prince talking about how Blessed Spartan should have gotten a tank. I think Terminators are usually the better choice overall, depending what you're up against. Against Knobs, yeah, the Terminators would definitely be better than a Predator, or even a Land Raider. Well, Penis Prince does have a good point. Predator should be able to kite Knobs, but you do need to be really on top of your micro. These Scouts here need to get reinforced. There's a drop pod right here, so they should be getting reinforced. But that is actually a win for Tex. I mean, the actual fighting seemed pretty even right there, but Tex, of course, ultimately won on the victory points. I didn't even realize that that was going to be the end of the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy holidays, and good night.